This may come as kind of a surprise to a lot of you out there, but I kind of like goblins. In fact, a lot of people like goblins. Goblins are everywhere at the moment, you can't really escape them. Gone are the days of goblins just being level 1 tutorial fodder, or used as an insult to an ethnic group. Goblins are a contemporary mainstay, but why exactly is that? Well, as someone that spends a frankly embarrassing amount of time pretending to be a goblin on the internet, I feel like I have a special insight on the topic, and I've boiled it down to 5 key reasons which I will share with you right now. First of all, what are we even considering goblins? This is a surprisingly tough distinction, since goblins date so far back, appear in basically every type of media, and they're culturally significant to like every European country in a different way. So there's a lot of interpretations of goblins, which can make things really confusing. When I first met my partner, I told her that I was really into goblins, because I'm that flavour of autistic, and I was met with an extremely puzzled expression. I only found out years later it was because her only exposure to goblins at the time was from Harry Potter, and she thought I was just really into these. Yuck. So for the purposes of this video, goblins are just little green fellas, which is simple, but we're also including goblin adjacent creatures. These are your yordles or your gremlins. Basically, if something pops into your head after listening to these points, it's a goblin. People tend to gravitate to a certain archetype of character, especially in games. Like everyone has that friend that always plays the edgelord character, or the suspiciously submissive friend who always plays the girly healer character. Well, goblins are just the perfect fit for the goofy archetype. Like some people will just see a roster of hundreds of characters and think, perfect, I want to be the dumbass. Not many people know this about me, but I'm actually the world's best Ziggs player in League of Legends. I've one-tricked that character for years despite his extremely linear kit, because he's just a silly little loser and I'm just kind of about that. Goblins are the perfect fit for this role because they radiate such a chaotic whimsy, like an ego with a handgun. You just never know what they're going to do next. Despite what the average social media addict will tell you, there are some intrinsic values to being a short stack. Small things are just cuter. Do you think Kirby would be nearly as popular if he was 5'10"? Small characters are also ripe for a bit of juxtaposition. A tiny character with a giant gun or a hammer or a bomb is just fun character design. Some people will just find the little guy type of character and roll with it. I know that's extremely similar to the last point, but these two aspects in particular are the major appeal of a goblin. Small and little are what make a lot of goblin-like characters as well. I like Nekoark as an example. I have absolutely no idea who they are or what they're from, but I would flay my skin into ribbons if they asked me to. This thing is absolutely a goblin. I like my goblins cute and stupid with funny noses that do silly things, but there is another type of goblin appeal. The nasty, evil, vile little creatures. Some people just want to watch the world burn. And while there's an abundance of evil losers in media, none of them have the same piss-drenched aura that a nefarious little goblin has. Goblins have a very different brand of evil. No matter how angry and stabby they get, they still have that sense of whimsy to them. I think goblin evil is just more fun because it often comes with a sense of crudeness, like the grots from Warhammer. These guys get sealed into literal tin cans, with an arsenal of barely functioning guns and swords attached to them, shaken up for good measure and told to kill whatever they can. You just don't get that kind of shit with elves or dwarves. You know what's weirdly trendy right now? Being a total fucking loser. Everyone loves the loser, and goblins are as close as you can get to a genetic loser. There's something so endearing about the ideas of a snot-nosed runt trying his hardest to kill someone with a bundle of sticks. Which, by the way, when you're bored, Google what the British call a bundle of sticks. One of the truest virtues is recognising when you're a bit lame and just rolling with it, and those who do find a comforting likeness in the humble loser goblin. I don't really know how else to put it. There's just something fun about picking the weakest of the races as your favourite, especially in game when they're also underpowered, so your losses don't feel as bad because you're playing the stupid goblin class / character / army. So the odds were stacked against you from the beginning, but when you do win, it just feels so deserved. So everything I've said in this video so far, that only applies to the boys. The ladies have their own appeal, and it fucking sucks. You know the classic issue of fantasy races having sexual dimorphism as if designed by a horny teenager, where all of the guys are diverse and interesting and all of the females are the same porn star with slightly discoloured skin? Well, goblins don't have that exact issue, but they might have it worse. Female goblins are either hypersexual giga-breasted bimbo short stacks with lingerie masquerading as armour, or they're straight up lolicon garbage. I'm not complaining that sexualised characters exist, but it's generally the default for goblins. You need to do some serious digging just to find a cool, interesting female goblin design. But as much as I dislike it, this is a video about why people like goblins, and for many weirdos out there, I guess this is the appeal. I don't want to get on my knees and orally pleasure Baldur's Gate 3. It's already sat comfortably next to Elon Musk in the hall of most sucked off things on the internet, but for what it's worth, their lady goblins are fine. So what's the moral of this video? Goblins are like a spectrum, and just like all spectrums, the further you are into it, the less old people want anything to do with you. I really hope you guys enjoyed this format of video. I'll admit, this video was a bit uncommittal, but we just wanted to ease into the project. We have a lot more of these videos lined up, and some of my ideas are a bit out there, so subscribe for some really weird shit. Thank you all very much for watching. Cheers.